Welcome back, students. This is the Pixel Portrait details video. We're going to go through really quick and show you how to get to kind of finishing up your pixel portrait and kind of putting some details on that. So the first thing you're seeing here, this is kind of a quick paint through of finishing up from where we left off in the class videos. So I had done the other colors, so now I'm working with purple. I started with dark values and then I'm working my way to some lighter values. And this is done in a stop motion video. It probably took about 15 minutes to get through these two colors. So after some purple, I'm going back with some yellow. You can see me kind of starting with the lighter areas, and then I'll slowly add some purple to this yellow to make it darker and fill in some of the darker values in the middle tones on this. Again, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm painting dark values in dark areas, light values in light areas, middle tones in middle areas. So at this point I switched to a regular speed, and what I'm starting to do, but I have sped this up so you don't have to watch it for too long. We'll slow down in just a minute. But this is mixing between the yellow and the purple back and forth to really just find some different values. I'm looking at this point, I have 6 colors, so I'm trying to find those little holes in my painting, spots where I have white, values that maybe look off, edges. So I'm kind of still popping around and trying to fill in some of those different areas. I'm looking at that photo on the left. I'm mixing up different values. Here I've got some lights. And the thing that I think I noticed is there's some areas where I had the shadow wrong. So I'm trying to correct that by adding some lights. That is not pure white. It might look kind of light, but it's white plus yellow or white plus purple or a mixture in between, just to try and bring back a little bit more light on that top right side that faces the light source. So just keep mixing. So now we're getting into some warmer values. Highlight on the nose, over by the cheek, down on the chin, up above the eye, over by the hair. And anytime I go too far or overdo it, I can always come back with a different color or a different value to try and fix the edge. So here we are now, real-time painting. I'm mixing alizarin with some dioxazine purple. I wanted a real dark. And so what I'm going to start to do is maybe get a couple pieces near the edge of the cast as it touches to the background. If I have some extra darks there, it's definitely going to kind of start to define my edge and give me a nice kind of dark side to that. I'm looking at those shapes of the shadows above the eye and around the eye, on the side of the nose, places like that. Where can I put a stroke that goes through and starts to really define an edge or a light or a dark? The one thing I want you to pay attention to, so I am now not using the grid. I'm painting by eye. I'm looking at the photo. I'm looking at my picture. But I am not outlining anything. I can put a short stroke here and a short stroke there, and I can build up a bunch of different short strokes in different values and different colors. But what I'm not doing is tracing all the way around something or making really long lines. They're still short, small pieces of paint, outlining and giving me a clear, clean edge. That's what I want you to do, is to avoid outlining. That's kind of the thing we're trying to avoid so that we get a pixely kind of look to our picture. The one thing that I feel like when I still look at this that I don't like is the bottom left part of the chin. I think I can maybe fix that, and I may go back and do that. Here I'm doing a little bit longer strokes up here along the edge of the head and near the hairline, but that's about as long as they go. Maybe a long piece for me is about an inch. It's not huge, long strokes that clearly surround or define the edge. Try to stick to squinting when you look at your picture and squint when you look at your source image as well. So I'm kind of getting some in the hair, get some movement or some motion back there, make it feel more like it's being pulled back towards the ear. Get a couple more in the background. I think we're about done with this demonstration. But that's how I would go about doing details, whether it's a light or it's a shadow, pulling little pieces, painting in between our grid squares, starting to really look at how can I define the edge the best. And at this point, I really have lost almost all the grid, almost all the drawing. I'm mostly looking at my photo and I'm looking at my painting and trying to compare the two together. I'll probably look at it one more time after a few days so that I can see whether I like it and maybe make some changes, but here you go. This is the final view of the final painting. Hopefully this was helpful to try and get some of these details, and we'll see you next time.